Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to No Mercy. And there will be no mercy for anyone here tonight. We kick this show off on the pre-show with a Keith Lee showcase, where he faces brilliant amateur wrestler Shelton Benjamin. Of course, Benjamin outperformed him by a lot with 71 compared to Keith Lee's 47. But overall, it's a pretty decent match. Gets 57 overall, and Keith Lee picks up the win. Shelton Benjamin is declining, and both guys held back a little because there was storytelling. And on the pre-show, the show kicks off with Seth Rollins' music hitting, and he comes out wearing an eye patch. He tells some story about how it was the Fiend who gave him his injury, despite the fact it was a botched haluva kick from Sami Zayn, who I am going to point out, in a behind the scenes things, he has been suspended for a month for recklessness, to be honest, because that was a dreadful thing that happened. Rollins vacates the Universal Championship, and Booker T announces that because he won on Friday, Roman Reigns was always going to be the next contender to the Universal Championship because he beat Samoa Joe. Turns out, he's just going to get that shot now, as he'll be facing Bray Wyatt tonight. The Shield brothers kind of hug, but they kind of feel awkward because it's like the second time Roman has got a shot at a title which Seth has vacated due to injury. And we kick the show off itself with Ricochet defeating John Cena. I deliberately put these two opening because I thought it would be a good position and I wanted Ricochet to win. Lack of psychology for both guys, kind of annoying, and no improvements, but Cena gets a 93, Ricochet a 76. This should boost Ricochet's pop massively. And after the match, Cena puts him over. He talks about how he's such an amazing high flyer and how this is the future of this business. I'm also going to be announcing now, as a result of winning this match, on this week's episode of SmackDown Live, Ricochet will be facing Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. We get a tag team match here, as Becky Lynch and Kacy Catanzaro defeat Bayley and Banks. When Kacy Catanzaro taps out Bayley after both Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch got started brawling backstage into the crowd. So the match ends and we pretty much cut straight away to a separate camera, and they're still brawling. They are still brawling like mad. This is a massive for this, and next pay-per-view is actually Survivor Series, which is kind of frustrating, you know. But so no actual feuds. Feuds are going to be continuing, but it is going to be based on Raw versus SmackDown. Ali defeats Drew Gulak with an 054 to win the Cruiserweight title for the first time in his career. And boy, did Ali look a lot better than Gulak. That's a 76 to a 27 rating. That's almost inverted. Well, that's more than inverted, actually. Inverted would be 72. It's a 60 rated. Good match. Next up, the Usos take on the New Day. And they win. Jimmy Uso defeats Xavier Woods with a double super kick, and the Usos win the Raw Tag Team titles. Woods was the weakling with a 70 rating. E was the big star with an 83. Great chemistry for both teams and improvements all around. Next up, we have the WWE Champion Kofi Kingston taking on Braun Strowman in just over 20 minutes. Kofi wins with Trouble in Paradise He tries to do the SOS. He gets thrown back, bounces off the ropes, another Trouble in Paradise, and Braun is down for the 3 count. Gets a 77 rating for a hot crowd. And that ends Kofi Kingston versus Braun Strowman. Kofi Kingston wins, of course. That does mean Braun will be fighting Baron Corbin tomorrow night on Raw for a #1 contendership for the go home show before Survivor Series. And the entire New Day come out and celebrate Kofi retaining. The women's title match sees Charlotte Flair from SmackDown defeat Asuka. Of course, the way this is going to work is, as Survivor Series is a dual-branded pay-per-view, it will be Charlotte Flair representing SmackDown versus a woman of the Raw roster trying to win it back to the Raw side, and then until Royal Rumble, where it will be the other way, where it could be the other way around, or still a SmackDown defending against Raw. Either way, the big four pay-per-views, the big 4 pay-per-views, are going to be where it's Raw versus SmackDown for the women's title. Seth Rollins makes his entrance. He's going to be commentating the main event Hell in a Cell match. Roman Reigns gets a 100 A-star entrance. The Fiend gets a 94 entrance. And the match gets a 76 rating. It wasn't quite what I wanted, but I'm going to let it go. Cell comes down, and Bray Wyatt defeats Roman Reigns in a steel cell match in 26 minutes with a neck snap. Gets a 76 rating, kind of annoying. Overall, the show gets a 82 rating, the best match on the card, and therefore the people who will be getting credit goes to Ricochet and John Cena. So our speech will be Ricochet, John Cena, and who had a good segment? Well, Roman had the best segment of the night, and was the only guy to get a 100 A-star thing tonight. So Ricochet, Cena, and Roman, all 3 are pleased. And there we go. That was No Mercy. We'll see you for Raw tomorrow, where we're going to have a #1 contenders match for the women's title from Raw, and a #1 contender for the WWE title with Braun Strowman takes on Baron Corbin. See you then.